I'll just wait to see if anybody wants to pop up on the live. But I'll be posting it on Face Ache afterwards anyway. Move that light. And you can watch me being really uncomfortable in front of the camera. Just give it a minute. I'm going to try and get it up on the screen as well. Don't know whether I can. Oh yes, there I am. Oh god, I've got two of me on the screen. Ugh. Right, so, can I see if anybody's here? I don't know if I can. Where does it show me? Right, so first thing for this year, I need to do more videos. It's that simple. I need to get used to talking at the camera, not looking at myself while I'm talking, and not being horrified by my face on the screen. Main reason I wanted to do this video was basically, well, the big news is, big news, is it big news? I'm not doing Comic Cons anymore. There is so many reasons why. It's been long and thought out. I've been doing them for 15 years. It was a bittersweet decision. It was really, really sad and stressful. Yeah, I'll go through why shortly. So so basically that's going to change quite a lot of things, because my focus has been for 15 years has been, you know, minimum sort of 2 shows a year. At its peak, it was ridiculous levels. It was like, you know, some months it was 1 every weekend. So, oh, we're having people join now. I know it's a peculiar time of day to do it, but you know, when you think, I've been meaning to do a video for ages. I hate looking at myself on the camera. I know I need to do it. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it on a live, and I'm going to do it now. And then I'll just have to put my big girl's pants on and get over myself, basically. So where we're at is I'm not doing Comic Cons anymore. I've written myself a list because I thought I'm going to forget something. Whilst I'm not going to mention any Comic Cons specifically, I have traded at most. I know people who've probably traded at pretty much every one. They all have their, what should we say? All have their bad points and their good points. There are certain ones I may have done once and then decided I'm never going to do it again. There's certain ones I just wouldn't touch with a barge pole. I have whittled it down over the years anyway. But the main reasons are, so the stress involved. So even because if I was just doing Comic Cons, it would be a different kind of fish, because you'd be going from one event to the next event to the next event, and you're set up for shows. That's not what I'm doing. I don't want to be spending, I live in a beautiful location. I don't want to be spending huge amounts of time stressing about then going away, staying in a hotel, worrying if you're going to take any money. It's just really stressful, and the build up to it's stressful. And I think the less I was doing, it was almost more stressful, because it became, although it was an important part of my business, like I say, it wasn't doing it all the time. There are people who just do shows and that's how they make their income. It wasn't my main income, but it was a big part of it. So it was like, oh, I need to do this, but then you've got stock left over. What do you do with that stock? Because it usually only sells at shows. It doesn't sell very well online. And then not being able to do commissions and orders because there's just so much going on. So I think the main thing is there's just no guarantees. With a show, there's no guarantees. And these shows cost a lot of money to do. I mean, you're talking for one table, and I always had a minimum of 2 and sometimes at a booth. One table is going to cost you, for a decent sized show, it's going to cost you, I think, minimum of about, I don't know, 350, more like 400 with VAT. So it's a lot of money. So you're talking £800 for 2 tables, maybe a booth, then your hotel, blah blah blah. So you're talking, and your fuel, and if you've got bringing people with you to help, you obviously have to feed and water them. So I mean, you're talking, as a generous sort of estimate, you're talking £1,000 before you've even left the house. So that's £1,000 worth, and then I've got to think about how much my stock cost me, the time it's taken me to make. But even if you take that out of the equation, I've got to sell £1,000 worth of stock before I even start thinking about making a profit. So that's a lot of stress. And actually, yes, you have a top, you know, you have a captive audience, you have people there. But still, I mean, the actual, if you're talking about it on a commission basis, you know, the percentage that you're paying, you know, to do the show as opposed to what you're taking, it's still, it actually is worse a lot of the time than selling on somewhere like Etsy, which has extortionately high fees. But again, you have a different target audience, you have a different footfall. I'm really aware at the moment that I'm just babbling on, so I'll try not to be... So there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee you're going to make money. And I have literally not slept properly for, you know, days, weeks, sometimes thinking, oh my God, what if I don't take the money? Because you've piled money into stock, you've piled money into the show, and you're thinking, oh God, what if it's a complete disaster? And it's probably incredibly unhealthy. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it's very stressful, and there's no consistency. And at any point, say if you're doing a Comic-Con, loads of people turn up, or book tickets, even if the show is sold out, the weather can affect people's mood, you know, their ability to buy. The guests can affect it. The guests can affect it in 2 ways. There can be really good guests where people spend all the money on the guests, they haven't got anybody left at the stalls. Oh, you have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. And you've got also then, if guests don't turn up last minute or what have you, people aren't in a great mood, and people in a great mood obviously don't want to spend money. They just want, you know, and I totally get that. So there's no consistency and no guarantee at these things. And it's again, I'll go back to it, it's a lot of money to do the show. It's a lot of money. I've tried smaller shows. I enjoy doing smaller shows, as in the local shows where, you know, when I generally only doing those now to sell honey and soap and, you know, nice countryside things. But I enjoy doing those essentially because they're chilled out. They're really low cost. I mean, sometimes it's like £10 a table. I've just booked a show for Easter, which is like, we're sharing a stall and it's £20 between us, so it's £10 each, and there will be tea and cake, and that's lovely. And that's a completely different thing. Tried doing smaller Comic-Cons, and they're just, again, it takes me no less time to set up for a smaller Comic-Con than it does to a bigger Comic-Con. It costs me a lot less, but it's actually, again, profit margin wise, probably doesn't work out any better, if not worse. And you think, well, for less money, I've just basically worked the same amount as I have for a big show. So it doesn't work that way either. And that market is so oversaturated. It is absolutely, I was really hoping that when we came out of COVID, like I say, I've been doing this for 15 years. When we came out of COVID, I was hoping that people would see the light and realise that the market was completely saturated, and that, you know, there isn't the space for it. There isn't. For genre specific conventions, I totally see that. The girl fashioned hotel conventions, they are always a winner. They're brilliant. You get people, the atmosphere there is great. Unfortunately, most of those don't have traders from my point of view as a business. It's no good, but they're really, you know, good. And I think arguably you could add more of those. But the actual generic Comic-Con, there isn't, it's so oversaturated. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, when you've got, you know, I think it was a couple of years ago, email off the local council saying they were putting on a Comic-Con, and I'm just like, oh, you know, there's only so many weekends in a year people want to go and do stuff. There's only so many times where people want to go and meet a celebrity. I don't know. It's just totally oversaturated. And people are pushing more and more and more shows. Well, okay, because we haven't, you know, got let's do more shows. And it's like, no, why do you do less shows but make them better? So that's one of my reasons. That though has been going on for years. But it seems to go in waves and troughs. People, you know, sort of think, oh, there's too many, we'll stop doing so many, and then someone comes along and goes, oh no, we'll do loads because loads of people turn up and it'd be amazing. So going back to my list because I've digressed a lot. Yeah, time, like I said, it probably, even doing 2 big shows a year takes 2 months out of my life. You know, prepping for it, thinking about it, it's probably more than that. Because you're thinking about it all year. So time is a big factor, and stress. I said about the stock left, you especially if you've got big guests turning up, you'll be trying to, as a handmade maker or even buying in stuff, you'll be trying to turn up with stock that corresponds with who's going to be there. So you know, sometimes you're left with a load of stock which is going to take you ages to get rid of. Like I say, I'm not going to go into specific organisers. I will say that there's been one Comic-Con that I've stuck with from the start and to finish. And I will always support them. That's Wales Comic-Con. I was there the first one where, you know, it wasn't so great. And it's just built and built and built. And they're very good at taking a step back and going, this isn't working. Or, you know, working on stuff and moving on stuff. The other thing I'll just briefly touch on is, over the years, I've realised with traders and some organisers, it can be quite toxic. It can be quite a toxic environment. There's the green-eyed monsters. There's traders who don't like you because you've done well. There's traders who don't like you because someone said something about you. I mean, I've literally spoken to people at a weekend and had someone say to me, and this has happened on more than one occasion, basically say to me, oh, you're not as bad as what I heard or what have you. So, you know, well, basically, you're not a bitch. And I'm like, oh, well, that's nice to know. And because other people have been behind your back, which, regardless of whether you're a trader or not, is not a nice thing to do. It's just not pleasant. Just don't. If you haven't got anything kind to say, or nice to say, just keep your mouth shut. And there's this horrible thing as well when someone's sort of in charge of booking you in for your slots, because a lot of people rely on it for their income. And I think that's slightly where the toxic atmosphere comes, and people brown nosing each other and stuff like that. There's, how do I say it? People are terrified that they won't get a slot at the next show, and obviously that will. And I've been there, and you're like, oh, you know, if I don't get a table for that, and if I don't know, oh my god, you know, am I going to make the money I need to make? I'm doing this full-time business, blah blah blah. And you're treading on eggshells, and you feel like you can't say what you want to say, even if it's a genuine thing. You feel like you can't say it because you know, you'll be seen as awkward or difficult, and that's, again, not a nice thing to be in. But the bitching and the backstabbing is the same with anything, any club, any organisation, and it's the same with traders at big shows. There is a lot of nastiness that goes on in the background, and a lot of, yeah, and again, there is what I have noticed more at Comic Cons is it's really difficult as a handmade person to do Comic-Con things, because obviously all this stuff is licensed, and all the stuff you buy in is licensed, so you tread a very, very sort of fine line, and, you know, have to play on the grey areas and stuff, and spend a lot of time thinking, can I do that? Am I infringing on intellectual property, copyright, you know, whatever? You really trying to be a good girl as much as possible. And then there are people who just don't care. And you walk up to a stall and there's people with Fortnite logos, with Walking Dead logos, with this, that and the other. And you're like, well, that's not licensed. It shouldn't be on there. You know, you could argue the point with some of my stuff. Yeah, maybe intellectual property and stuff like that. I've gone above and beyond and seriously spent hours and hours, days, months sometimes thinking about what I can do that isn't going to infringe. And then other people just go, nah, I'll just do that. I'll just whack the logo on there. So, you know, when you're competing with that as well, that becomes a little bit difficult. So yeah, so I'm really, I feel really strange about the whole thing. I've been meaning to do a video for ages, and that's where I was like, I spoke to a friend this morning. I said, I'm just going to do a live. I'm just going to do a live, because then they can sit there watching me look completely awkward because I hate myself on screen. And I know it just gets it out of the way. I was umming and ahhing about it last year, and then I made a decision, but I wanted to speak to certain people first, who I've got a lot of respect for, to let them, you know what I was, that I wasn't going to be doing them anymore, and have a good old chat with them. Because, you know, after you've been doing it for a long time, you have got friends in the industry as such, and I don't want it to be, I'm sure it won't affect their business whatsoever, me not being there, but it's that personal thing of someone announcing something on Facebook or whatever you and not telling you first. So I wanted to get all that out of the way. So yeah, no more Comic Cons for me. And in fact, even any show, it's not a I hate Comic Cons, it's just a, for my business model, I will be, like I say, I will be doing like local shows with soaps and honey and bits and bobs, but what it means on the flip side is that I can get back to, instead of focusing on what am I going to do at Comic Con, what guests are going to Comic Con, what, you know, all my focus being around that, I can now focus on what I want to do and get back to the original reason that I started this 15 years ago, was I want to make dragons and goblins and toadstools and fairies and gothy things and fantasy things and all this, that and the other, which, you know, is a lot of the Comic Con world, yes, but I think not doing Comic Cons will leave me sort of with the ability to be more creative and not be penned into what I need to do. So hopefully that will follow through. I'm just noticing I have actually got some comments, so sorry guys, it doesn't pop on my service. Yeah, Natalie, the weekend conventions, when I know there's been a lot I know the whole thing with Rogue, it wasn't pleasant, but when they were running, they were amazing, and the vibe was just brilliant. We loved it, even doing it as a trader, because you just, I don't know, there was just a vibe, wasn't there? There was just a, yeah. So jealous. There is certainly an in crowd and then everybody else, but like you say, it's everywhere, but doesn't make it right. So sorry I won't see you anymore. Well, I'm really sorry. Right, because I mean, I didn't mean to sound like there's like I hate all traders. I've got quite a few traders that I like, and some of my best friends now are people that I have met along the way. But I have also met a lot of people who've you know, would stab you in the back without thinking about it, and go to the other level of slacking you off behind your back for absolutely no reason. And it's just, I mean, it's comical. If you can think about it that way, it is upsetting. You know, I can laugh it off, but it is upsetting. It's never nice when you hear someone's been bad-mouthing you and saying things, you know, that aren't true. But what can you do about it? Because as soon as you try and defend yourself, you look like you're trying to defend yourself because you've done it, or, you know, you are what they say you are. So you just have to kind of laugh it off and let people make their own decisions. But yeah, I'm sorry if anybody was thinking that I'd be outing people and doing stuff like that. It was I'm not here to name names. Just be careful of the smiling assassins. That is all I shall say. Victoria, no more Comic Cons for me this year. It's alt cons for me from now on. Different vibe totally. Yeah, alt cons. Yeah, I could see me doing that, but at the moment I'm so worn out with the whole thing that I want to be able to basically do a show that is going to be as stress-free as possible, isn't going to cost a lot of money. You know, all these things, chuck them off the list. And that I can literally go, right, what can I grab off my shelves and take with me? Not, oh my God, I'm having to, you know, buy in a load of stuff or make a load of stuff, and then what if it doesn't sell, blah, blah, blah. So at the moment for Goblin Dreams, it's no more shows, no more Comic Cons, but am open to stuff in the future, but probably 99% no more Comic Cons. So what does I'm just looking through my list, and I think I've pretty much covered everything to do with Comic Cons. If anybody has any more comments on them, then that's fine. I will put this, if I can work out how to do it, and I'm not sort of too badly freaked out by my face on the camera, I will probably put this on YouTube. YouTube, not YouTube, YouTube. But what that means from now on is, so a lot of things will stay the same. I'm going to continue to do markets, but I'm going to try and find a better way of doing it, because I'm finding lots of people saying I don't get the notifications. I don't, you know, I you know, there's literally people getting notifications a week after the market's happened. And also I don't know whether it's feasible for me to be doing them every month, because the month just eats into it really quickly, because you're like, oh right, I've got that to do this month. I mean, I've got my, look, oh, my little organised book of lists of stuff to do. So I'll be like, oh right, because it's like January, I spent a week doing the Hollow Oak website. For those who don't know, Hollow Oak is my other business that I run with my partner Mark, which is honey and beeswax and all that big sort of honey and beeswax things. So I was redoing that website. I was meaning to do the Goblin Dreams ones as well. I've had a little bit of a zhuzh around with it, but I need to spend a few days to proper tidy that up. And then I had to sort postage, because the new postage rates came out and the international rates were ridiculous. It was separate for each country. It took me 48 hours to just do the postage rates. Drove me insane. So all that, and all of a sudden it was like, well, it's, you know, bits and bobs as well. And it was like, well, that's 2 weeks gone, and then that's 3 weeks gone. So I don't think, so that's my really long way of saying, I don't think markets will be every week, God forbid, every month. But there may be some months where they are consecutive. It just all depends. I need to get in a swing of doing things differently, because I've always, apart from COVID years, but always for the last 10 years, probably had shows in spring and in winter. And so they took out a big chunk of my time and everything. So it's going to be very weird, but also very good. It will, like I said earlier, it will free me up to be more creative. But I think it's going to take a bit of time to get my head out of the mindset of it and just let myself be creative. I found that because I'm just making to order stuff on Etsy and making stuff for shows and that I've become quite rigid in my thinking, and I don't like it. And I want to get excited again about going, let's make a thing. And you might see a thing someone else has made and go, oh my god, that's so good, oh, that's inspired me to do this, and I want to make a toadstool. I like toadstools. Why haven't I made more toadstools? I'm obsessed with toadstools. I love toadstools. That is the one thing that I will buy, is like sculptures of toadstools. They're amazing. So yeah, again, I'm going to have a bit of a cull on the website. There's stuff on there that was very made for Comic Cons and then ended up being on there. And if I'm honest, there's some of it which just, the profit margins are just so bad on it that you're just like, is it worth it? Is it? So I need to have a proper think about it, and I need to do spreadsheets, more spreadsheets. I started doing a spreadsheet in autumn last year, and it works perfectly well, which was a proper pricing calculator, and it works out all my prices and profit margins for Etsy as well, and then with card fees on the website, in person, blah 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 blah. So but what happened was I decided that I wanted to make it posh, and then I could sell the spreadsheet as a digital download. And then Halloween and Christmas happened, and I haven't made it posh and fancy enough yet. So I just need to get it polished, and then I can do my own pricing, because I could just do my own pricing now, but I want it to look pretty as well. It all makes a difference. So yeah, colour stock, and I've just had a quick look through the website, and I've got like resin dragons and stuff like that. Have I got any here? Like, I've got a blank here. So like, these ones that I have made, I sculpted it and then made a mould, and I did them in resin, and they are fab. But I decided, because you're trying to please everyone, that I was going to do made to order colours and this, that and the other. And now there's just, the problem is with that, although in my brain it's like, oh well, it won't take me long to make another one, it does. And then I put off doing it, and it's much better doing it in batches, which makes it more affordable as well, for me and everybody else. So I've got to have a tweak around, and it will be a case of what's on there is in stock or can be sent out pretty quickly. The only one not big, that is the Book of Shadows that I've got on there, because they are done in batches. So if I haven't got any in stock, I haven't got any in stock, but the most your wait is like 2 to 3 weeks. If you ever need anything urgently and you're just like, oh, well, when am I going to get this? Just drop me a message and I'll tell you. So I've just noticed another message. That's a shame, from Chloe Ivy. Always enjoyed seeing your stuff at Telford. Totally understand though. Yeah, it is. It actually, I was a bit teary about it. I was a bit sad to the extent that my friend sent me chocolate in the post. Thank you, John. Because, oh, excuse me, I was falling off my chair. Because I sent a voice message about it, and he was like, you just sounded so sad. I am sad, but I'm also really happy, because it means that I have a focus on cool stuff. I'm going to do more videos. I need to get used to seeing this on the camera. But I do need to do it. We live in an age of doing videos now. I'm obsessed with YouTube. I follow quite a few people. And I just need to just get over myself. And I need to stop. I need to stop looking over there. Because I'm trying to look at myself on the screen. People have said should I try that? So if I take away my face there and then put a dot where but I don't know where the camera is. Am I supposed to be looking there? I don't know. But I need to sort it out. I need to get, because I'm doing it on my phone at the moment. So I think I need to get a little camera mirror. I have got, I've just realised I've got mics. I've got mics that I plug in my phone to make me sound better. And I haven't used them. Well done, Nikki. Well done. So yeah, more videos. So it would be cool if you, I don't know, like this will probably go up on YouTube, because I need to just go, it's done. It's done. Get it up there, and you know, you never need to look at it again. And the videos will get better. Yeah. What's Sam saying? Lots of traders I'd spend money with have made similar decisions about Comic-Cons. I'd rarely see things I want to spend money on anymore, and the amount of people selling unlicensed copyright infringement stuff is unreal. Look forward to seeing what you do in the future. It'll take a while to adjust. And the things you make awesome. Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's yeah, especially if you have traded. You know. So what else? So I'm going to be, I've already got a commission this year, so I am going to make some more goblins. You know, the big goblins. Have I got one? Have I got one? Hang on a minute. I have two. So, in my ideal world, I would just make these all day. But, so I only have a couple of these left. But they're like completely posable goblininess. His, what was he? Is he the mayor? I think he's the mayor. And then, like little ones like this. So, there's going to be more of these. I already have someone got in touch with me on Etsy to get a commission done of a lady goblin. So yeah, there's going to be more of those. There's going to be more of dragons. There's going to be more of everything. And I'm spending the rest of the week. Oh, I've just realised I've been talking for more than half an hour. The rest of the week I shall be spending making sure that everything that I actually have got in stock is up on the website, because before, I know I had a massive sale in January, but before that, I mean, I had hundreds of things that just weren't on the website, because you go, oh, I'll just take it to Comic-Con with me. So I'm going to be better at doing the website, which means yeah, I'm so glad you got that rainbow hair, because I loved that and it was just sitting around for ages, and I was like, it needs to go somewhere. It's loved. I haven't got the room to put it up. I was, to be fair, I did say if no one bought it, I was going to put him in the garden. Or her. I don't know whether it's him or her. It's a hair. I've said loads. I'm doing my own head in now. Sorry, guys. So, more videos, more goblins, more dragons, more things, more shinies, just things and cool stuff. And I just need to get in the zone and get excited about it. And I keep thinking about, right, because I did start, I don't know if you remember, I did start doing workshops. It took me years to get up to that level where I thought I'd do some workshops. And I started doing them, and then we had COVID. And I did... Sorry, I just keep... right, stop saying sorry. So I did organise, there was going to be what we call it a geek retreat, where people would come and stay in Devon for the weekend, when I was living in Dartmoor, and we could make some geeky things and use polymer clay, use fabric hardener, do some different stuff. But I had to cancel that because of COVID, and then I had to move, and now I'm thinking, have I got a right place here to do it? I mean, there is accommodation nearby, but I don't know. I don't know whether it's quite right. Where I was on Dartmoor was just perfect, because I lived in that village. It was a really small village. There was loads of accommodation, because it was middle of Dartmoor. So, you know, sort of every other house was bed and breakfast. And I could keep the prices relatively low, because what it was costing me to hire the venue for an entire weekend was quite low. So I don't know. I'll have to have a think about it. I mean, if there was like, everybody was like, oh, no, we really want to come away for the weekend and do a geek retreat and make crafty things, then, you know, I'll put some more thought into it. But I mean, I need minimum 10 people, really, to make it worth my while. I mean, if anybody wanted to come down and do it ad hoc and do a day or something, I can do that too. But I don't know whether it's worth, you know, even advertising that. I don't know. But I did think, again, it might be a bit out of the box, but maybe doing some Zoom stuff. So could either do, well, like one of two options. I either do a workshop where on Zoom where I show you how to make something, and then, or we do almost like a Zoom commission. So you give me a brief idea of what you want, and I sort of say, well, it's going to take X amount of time, and you pay to goodness, OnlyFans, pay to watch me make it. And then obviously, what, you know, you can sit there and be going, oh, actually, could I have the ears this way, and could I have that colour, and could you do this, and could you do that? But I don't know whether that's, I mean, is that a bit over the top? I don't know. So I think I've done my list of stuff. I just wanted, I wanted to speak to people as face to face as possible to tell them about Comic Cons, because I know there's a lot of people that are customers here that I found through Comic Cons, and there is a camaraderie sort of thing, and I don't want it to be like just a Facebook post or something like that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Throw ideas at me. I can't guarantee I'll do all of them. I have to, obviously, for every idea, even if I think it's super cool, it is only me doing this. It's me making the stuff. It's me putting stuff on the website. It's me doing all the admin. It's me doing the accounts. It's me packaging everything. It's me. So there's only so much I can do, and I need something to be business viable for me most of the time. If you are very lucky, sometimes you will catch me, and you know, I had once someone contacted me and they wanted me to make a Sir Didymus from Labyrinth, and what's the dog called? Oh, it'll come back to me in a minute. The dog that he sits on, Sir Didymus. Someone tell me in the comments. Anyway. And I was like, oh, I wanted to make these for, yes. So I actually gave them a very good deal, because it took me, I think, in total probably about 2 weeks solid to make them. And I can tell you now, I charged them less than a week's wage. But they were super cool. And so occasionally you might catch me, which is very unlikely these days, because I have made most of the things that I want to make. But I'll see if I can find some pictures of it, because it was super cool. I mean, the Sir Didymus was, not that you can actually see my hands. Oh, how big was it? Not that big. And it was poseable, and had the little waistcoat and the hat and it was all handmade and it was super, super cool. And then I had someone ask me if I could make another one, and I was like, it'll be millions of pounds. I said, oh, no, I don't want one then. So yeah, just throw ideas and stuff at me, but yay for exciting things. Boo that I won't see a lot of you in person again. Never say never, but you know, it's one of the things that I do like about Comic-Con is being able to chat to people. Ambrosius, of course, it was. That's my sister coming on to tell me what the dog was called. Yes, so I don't do my son Ambrosius. So yeah, I'll try and find a picture of that in a minute. But yeah, let's just make cool stuff and have a little community of liking cool things and making stuff cool. But yeah, let me know what you think about workshops, etc., and ideas of things to make. And I have been talking at you for 40 minutes now, so I'm going to let you go. But any questions, like I say, I'll probably put this on YouTube, so if you've got any additional questions or comments, Natalie, Ludo, is that in response to things to make? Ludo, I've done several Ludos. I've done big, like usually end up about 30 centimeters height, fully posable. Maybe I should make some more of those again. But yeah, just let me know in the comments any questions and stuff like that, and I'll pop this on YouTube if I can work out how to do it, and maybe add a bit on answering some questions. But I will be doing more videos. Again, if you have any ideas of videos you want me to draw, I'll do makey do videos, but I'll also do talking about different stuffy videos. I've already got one idea. I need to make a list, which is controversial. Is 3D printed the same? Is it handmade, basically? Is it in the same realm as someone sculpting something? What do you think? Let me know. Right, bye for now, and big loves.